What's the World Council for Health been up to?
This is, of course, a follow-up to the plug and advance notice that UK Column gave on this. And the World Council for Health, of course, has a very aggressive outlook to generate more opposition to the pandemic treaty. And they gave a program the 28th of April that I watched in real time. Who said yes? It was called the Pandemic Treaty Without Public Consent. James Roguski, one of the 8 presenters. So it was quite an interesting program, and we'll move through this fairly briskly. There was also the Pan American Health Organization alongside the WHO, and this was shown. This is a screenshot from that World Council for Health presentation, Guide for WHO Collaborating Centers. This is a very big issue when it comes to sovereignty, because a lot of people have said, well, the pandemic treaty will undermine national sovereignty, and so on and so forth. And the U.S. technically backed out of the WHO. But here's the rub. These collaborating centers could completely nullify the fact that the U.S. backed out of the WHO. And we'll show this listing here to get an idea of the numbers. The World Council for Health, another screenshot from the program, listed some of the collaborating centers by number. The U.S. has about 72 of them, China 60, India 59, the UK 50 of them, Australia 43, Japan 33, and Canada 26. What are collaborating centers? They're any university or government outlet in the U.S. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, is a collaborating center. So health institutions, universities, organizations, and agencies like the CDC are among these collaborating centers. Now, the WHO guide for those collaborating centers lists some very interesting things, as we'll show here. The entities collaborating with WHO are obliged to follow a WHO-determined authorized work plan. Another one, the product, including intellectual property, the products involved belong to the WHO, according to the presentation. There's a non-compete clause that must be signed and no option to withdraw, even though it's time limited in years. And this is from a Dr. Jean Rungby from the Danish Health Authority, asking the question, do the Danish Health Authority, does that authority obey orders from the WHO, or shouldn't they? And the last bullet point on this 4-point thing is all legal responsibility rests with the institution. That's the collaborating center, not the WHO, including any injuries to human test subjects. Get that? Very interesting. Now, Dr. Tess Lawrie was another one of the listed participants, and she had a action item or research item that sounds very helpful. What are WHO collaborating centers doing in your country? Modeling new pandemics, experimenting with pathogens, developing bioweapons as vaccines, she says, gathering data and surveilling you. Isn't it time to find out what WHO's doing in your neighborhood, what the WHO is doing in your neighborhood? And what she recommends is search the WHO Collaborating Centers directory. We can provide that website link on the show notes. And that Collaborating Centers directory from the WHO is a comprehensive list of all the WHO collaborating centers, and it's publicly accessible. So anybody in the UK, the US, all around the world can go to that directory and find out what government agencies and universities and private institutions are part of these collaborating centers in concert with the WHO. It's something anyone can look up. Meanwhile, Roguski, for his part, presented the Repeal the PrEP Act. Let's go ahead and show that. Nice big bold letters there, Repeal the PrEP Act. And that, of course, is an act on the books that provides legal immunity from lawsuits and liability to those who manufactured, distributed, and administered remdesivir and the COVID-19 so-called vaccines. And Roguski is advocating the PrEP Act must be repealed. And the other participants, of course, at the program echoed that. And this is an interesting wording, you might say, from the Repeal the PrEP Act promo online at Roguski's Substack blog. Make murder a crime again. Get that. Make murder a crime again. Put the PrEP Act in the trash. Repealtheprepact.com. That's the website through which anyone can get involved. And this last item, sign the petition. I believe this is the last item, also from Roguski. and others commented on it. If you live in the U.S., complete the form below to add your name to a letter to Congress demanding the repeal of the PrEP Act. Your name will be listed, but no personal information will be there. If you have any questions, there's an email there, james.roguski@gmail.com, or you can text or call him. It's best to text first. And he doesn't mind giving out this number, of course, 310-619-3055 in Los Angeles, California. And there's websites there we'll put in the show notes where you can get involved if you're in the U.S., or you can get involved with this petition even if you don't live in the U.S. So there was a lot of emphasis, guys, on taking action before the World Health Assembly convenes to try and finalize the treaty May 19 through 27 in Geneva. So some very important matters discussed there, some very urgent matters. So that's our follow-up for now.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Patrick, let's come back to you then. And